you remember doing an interview when you were a kid, Chime magazine?
You write like Lennon, man.
John Lennon read it, and he wrote you a letter in 1971. Can you believe it?
Hi everybody, welcome to another Nerd Thoughts review. Nerd Thoughts is here reviewing a movie, this time for another movie. And before I say another movie, is if you are watching this on YouTube, you can listen to the exact same audio that you are watching our video on SoundCloud, Nerd Thoughts. And if you are listening to this on Nerd Thoughts review, Nerd Thoughts podcast, you could watch this exact same audio review on the video format on YouTube, Nerd Thoughts. And let's get back to review another Al Pacino movie. I just recently reviewed another Al Pacino movie that I hope you could watch and enjoy. This time it's a more mainstream Al Pacino movie, and it's called Danny Collins, directed by Dan Fogelman. Danny Collins plays as the title character, Danny Collins, who is an aging rock star in vein of Rod Stewart, Sting, Bond. Or you could say an aging rock star, like Bruce Springsteen, and whatnot, Eric Clapton, whatnot. And he pretty much is a character who is this aging rock star who still goes on tours. He still performs. People still love his music. He's like that Rod Stewart. I really want to relate to Rod Stewart, or if Frank Sinatra will still be around, still be singing and whatnot. People still go to his concerts, are still packed out. People know him. The younger generation still know him. Paul McCartney is a good example. And he pretty much is that aging rock star who still loves to do that sex, drugs, and rock and roll routine, but in smaller, toned down because he's of his age. He has a nice house, he has a nice living, but his agent once tells him, you did review interview back in, I believe, in the 70s, and John Lennon read it, and he wrote him a letter. And the letter never got to him, and the letter is not received to him until now, present day. And Danny Collins realized that if that letter was given to him years ago, it would have affected him as a person. It would have made him a better person that he feels that he wasn't. It would have make him a better musician that he feels that he is, but he could have done way more better things in his life. And so on, he goes and he decides to take a trip down to New Jersey to find himself and to find his abandoned son that he abandoned from, I think it was his mom, which was a groupie. And from there on, he tries his best to cope with people around him and cope with himself with his son, as to be a better father figure and whatnot to his granddaughter and to his son. Danny Collins is one of those movies where I really actually found how much I liked it. So much. It was so funny, it was so fresh, and it was so entertaining. It was a lot of stuff. You really love the character Danny Collins. He's charming. Al Pacino praised him to the fact that you never seen Al Pacino play a character like this where he's so charming, he's so funny. You've seen him do funny stuff, but he is so full of himself, and it's nice, and it makes you smile. And when things get serious, you kind of still have a smile for him, because you don't feel bad for him. You feel bad for him, but you want him to succeed, and you still he has a joke in there to say. And as the movie goes on, it's really become a touching movie. It's predictable in some ways, but it becomes really touching movie because when instead of just being nice to everybody, he's a nice guy. Here's what I like about that. He is that rock star. He is not the asshole type. Since he goes in to anybody, even to his supposedly wife or fiance he has, he's even nice to her at one point where something happens between him and her, and they're like best buds. She's like a fan of him, and and it's a very honest look at his character of his life. And even the people who like his son, for example, who abandoned him, doesn't want to do with them, he finds a way to go back into that family, and without the son being so mad at him. But there's, without spoiling too much, there is a main plot line within the son and Danny Collins, in which it builds on, especially the great actor Bobby Cannavale, who is in there, and Jennifer Gardner plays the wife. Both of them, the plotline that relates to Danny really affects you in the character, because it really has a lot to do with how the movie's going to end. It really has a lot to do with how Danny's going to be as a grandfather to his abandoned son kids, and to how everything, I say abandoned because he abandoned him because he knew about he had a son, but he didn't want nothing to do with them. It's really one of those movies where you love this character, unlike another movie where Al Pacino's Manglehorn, which I reviewed and I liked a lot. I love this one more than that. This is what Manglehorn could have been, but knowing that who was under the helm of, it's more of a tone, it's more limited and it's more artsy. This was more that mainstream, and this really isn't a mainstream comedy about aging rock star that you see nowadays a lot. Like Bill Murray has one, Meryl Streep's gonna have one coming out, with Ricky and the Flash and Rock the Cash Bar. It really is about that, and it builds on and it makes you laugh, and it's enjoyable, and he's just a nice charming guy. It's actually one of the most movie I actually like. Where I put this in my favorite movie of the year, I might, because that's how much I really enjoy the movie and how much I really enjoy Al Pacino. I would recommend this. However, I mean, it's no longer at the movie. It's actually out now to own. I would recommend it to watch it at home, rent it, if buy it, even buy it if you really like the movie. As soon as you watch it, buy it right away, because it's an entertaining movie. It holds up every time you see it, and it's just Al Pacino really shows you how much of a good actor and a charming actor he can still be, besides having bad stuff also. And that's all I really have to say about this movie. And Never Thoughts is here. Like I said, go check out my reviews, like and subscribe, watch my reviews. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye, everybody.